Hey everyone, John-Michael here. On today's episode of H2OMG, Lorena and I hit the streets to talk with people about how they conserve water at home. You may remember Lorena from episode 12, The Next Generation of Water Hero. Lorena is Hilda's daughter, and you may remember Hilda from a bunch of episodes, including the one we just did on the Mandy Moore movie, 47 Meters Down. Anyway, Lorena is a very smart 9 or 10-year-old. Sorry, Lorena, I can't remember exactly how old you are. She's definitely smarter than I was at her age, though, and is probably smarter than I am now at 35. So Lorena had a day off from school last October, and she wanted to roam around the streets with a microphone to find out how people save water at home. It was a great idea that Lorena had, and it would have worked too, except it started raining the very moment we stepped outside, pretty much. Plus, it was really cold. Nobody wanted to talk to us or even take the free candy we walked around with in a plastic pumpkin. It was right before Halloween, so it wasn't that weird. So we ended up walking around City Hall and talking to people inside and getting some great tips on how to conserve water at home. Okay, ready?
Off we go.
You think it's... we might need to get an umbrella. I can't tell if it's raining. I don't think it's raining. Okay. Nope. Okay. So, can you tell everybody what we're doing?
We are going out into the streets of downtown, and we're going to try and see if we can find people and ask them some questions.
Some questions about what?
Water.
Water? Really? Okay. Well, wow, it is pretty chilly out here.
Yeah.
How cold do you think it is?
By what my sister said, maybe like 32.
I don't think it's that cold. I think it's more like 47. Okay, do you see anyone? Do you see even a soul?
I see that one.
He's walking pretty fast away from us, though. Let's...
Where we could go? We could go to Sundance Square.
How far is that from here?
Well, my mom brought me there for Jamba Juice, so I kind of remember the way.
I'm just going to follow you then. Okay, let's go. I gotta get some lunch, too.
I mean, I already had a sandwich, but...
Did you look both ways?
Yes.
Do you always do that before crossing the street?
Yeah.
I think we're going to ask them, how do you save water at home, right?
Uh-huh. And then, have you ever listened to the podcast?
That's a good one.
And what are you going to be for Halloween? Because that's always a good one.
It is a good question, but we can ask them. But I think this will come out after Halloween, so we can ask them just for our curiosity, but I don't think it'll be I'll put that on the podcast.
Okay. Makes sense.
You understand?
Yeah.
You're a professional.
I guess.
Oh, wait, we forgot to say, what's your name?
Lorena and Enrique.
And you were in an episode earlier that we did about the future of water, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you're kind of famous.
I guess.
Did you get all your friends at school to listen to the podcast?
They haven't listened to it yet.
Haven't listened to it yet. What's stopping them from listening to it?
I guess homework.
That's a good answer. It's starting to rain.
This is so sad.
It's so sad. Why?
Because we were just getting started, and then Mother Nature was like, let's make it rain.
And we forgot our umbrella, right?
Yeah.
Now nobody's going to want to stop and talk because it's raining.
Yeah.
And our office is right by the courthouse, and nobody wants to talk to us coming out of there because they're in a bad mood because they probably just had to pay a ticket.
Yeah, probably. So, I have my mother here. And, Mom, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. My name is Hilda Zuniga, and I work for the water department. I'm a communication specialist, and I'm your mother.
And, Mom, have you been on the podcast before?
I have, yeah, several times. We have talked about native plants. We have talked about scary movies, and we have talked about medications. It's not good to pour them, place them inside the toilet and flush them.
Okay, so we're going to ask you a question. How do you save water?
how do I save water? Oh, goodness. I have like 5 barrels of 50 gallons each at home that I am capturing water right now that it's raining. So for when it's not raining, I can use that water to water my plants, to give water to Daisy, our dog, and the 2 others that I don't like. And then I measure the time that you are in the shower. So it's Lorena, water conservation, right? I also try to ask you to shut the faucet when you're brushing your teeth. I shut the faucet when I'm washing dishes every time when I'm scrubbing. I don't need the water to be gushing out. What else do we do at home? We changed the toilets. So the toilets are now water efficient toilets. And so we're saving water there. We also changed the shower heads to save water there as well. And I don't like a high bill every month. So I try to be very greedy as to how we use water at home. I think you know that. I'm cheap.
Have you listened to our podcast before?
I have. I do. I try to do it every time that John-Michael puts one out. I learned the story of the Nature Center's Munster, whatever they call it, Lake Worth Munster. That was scary.
Would you like some candy?
I would, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Lorena.
Thank you for letting us interview you. So, how do you save water at your house?
I try to water my lawn as little as possible, or I use the Save Tarrant water text messaging program to help identify when I actually need to water my lawn. Whenever I identify leaks, I try to solve them and take shorter showers, use full dishwasher loads, I always use the auto sensing feature in washing my clothing. I think those are the main ways. Yeah.
Have you listened to our podcast before?
Sometimes. I get called out a lot by John-Michael. I'm very particular, and I don't even sometimes listen to the podcast that I'm on because I'm a great employee, and coworker, very supportive. So sometimes.
Hello. We came to interview. Okay, I'm going to try and interview both of y'all at the same time.
Okay, great idea.
So, how do y'all save water?
So there's lots of ways to save water. I use rain barrels in my garden and collect rainwater, so that way I don't have to use water from the faucet to water my plants outside, because I like to be outside and gardening and stuff. And that's a really fun way to save water.
So we made sure that all of our like faucets and toilets and appliances and all of that stuff were water saving ones, so that every time we use water inside of our house, we know that we're being as conservative as we can be without, just having to like turn it off all the time. Like if we need to use it, we need to use it, but we can use less water at that time.
And how much water do you use in a day? If you could do a quick estimate.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so the average person in Fort Worth uses about 168 gallons per person per day. So typically, if you're using like water efficient, appliances and stuff in your house, and if you're saving water outside and not irrigating too much, then you're going to be using probably less than that, which, is somewhere around, I don't know, it could be 100, could be 130 gallons per person per day.
It's a podcast called H2OMG.
Really? What are we going to discuss?
We're going to ask you a few questions.
Oh, what type of questions? Is it about H2O?
Yes.
You are too cute. Like, yes. Are you really serious?
Yes.
Are they complicated? No, I'm just teasing. Come on.
So, How do you save water?
I actually have a smart flush toilet, and I do not run water unnecessary.
What are you going to be for Halloween this year?
What? I am going to go as a Trimble Tech Bulldog cheerleader.
And
Ask a follow-up?
Hmm?
Don't you want to know what that is? I want to know.
what is that?
My daughter is a cheerleader who goes to Trimble Tech, and I'm going to borrow her costume.
Have you listened to our podcast before?
I have, and I've seen some people on the intranet also, on Instagram, in all the funny suits.
Are you recording?
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well.
You look all nice and warm in your nice jacket. I like that.
Thank you. So we were wondering, how do you save water?
How do I save water? Well, since I started working at the water department over a year ago, I've learned to save water. I have become much more conscious at home about being conservative about my water. Not letting it run. Like when I'm doing dishes, I used to let it run while I was rinsing off the dishes. I don't do that anymore. I get them all washed and, I let the water stop. I put more clothes in the wash machine to conserve water, doing fewer loads of laundry. I yell at my husband to stop watering the lawn. That irrigation system's been going a long time, and making sure that in these days when it's raining that he has turned it off. What else? I've done some other things. That's all I can think of right now, but no, I've become much more aware of water and water issues.
Have you listened to our podcast before?
I have.
How many times?
How many times? I haven't had time this week yet to listen to the Lake Worth monster one. I'm really looking forward to that one. I've listened to probably 3/4 of them. The ones I didn't care for actually were I didn't listen to the Dungeons and Dragons one. Because I don't understand that. I know nothing about that, and I tried to watch it, and I just didn't get it. So,
Well, as my mom says, if you can always learn something new.
yeah, I tried to learn something new about that one, but it just no.
Who's our next victim?
I think that's it.
Oh.
That's everybody.
Well, that was another episode of
You don't remember the name of it?
H2OMG. It's because I'm used to my mom's one. Agua, sabor y salud. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Did you have fun?
Yep.
Thanks for listening, and a special thanks to Lorena for having this great idea and for helping me to record. Also, thanks to everyone we interviewed for letting us barge into your office with all our equipment and sticking a microphone in your face last October. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and barge into your coworkers' offices and make them subscribe too. See you next time.